Oh, that beat was dropping like Kendrick. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Box Out Boys. We are the NBA podcast of the people, your home for lukewarm takes and substandard analysis. I'm Titus. 2 shots Dominguez. Blop, blop, blop. With me tonight, it's Chris, the stats man Gorman. Hit it with the stats, Chris.
Hey, hi. Oh God. So guys, the Minnesota Timberwolves, they have never won a road playoff series, and they are the only professional NBA basketball team that have not ever done so. So while it's looking good early, there's a hole to climb out of if they want to finally break that streak of 0-9.
Some good information for us after game 2. Where was that stat? No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, I'm
busy with my everyone's old and everyone's young now in the league.
And we're getting Nas Reed tattoos.
Yep.
Yes.
Nas Reed. Oh, and sounding as good as the I don't know, man. I lost it there. I had something.
That was so good.
Oh. It's the lawn ball show, Krosky. Get that Joe.
I'm here.
I'm here, and I'm here. I was gonna say sounding as good as the Sorry, I'm very deep into the
So you're in it. You're in that feud.
I'm in the beef.
It's in the beef. Kendrick Perkins.
Kendrick Perkins.
Kendrick Perkins.
The Kendrick Perkins beef.
The Kendrick Perkins, who's a
Mellow beef from the commercials.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible advice. The Boxy Boys. Somehow I want that drop for us, but all right. Well, we do have a fun show. We actually are going to talk basketball at some point today. We have a fun show.
If you get us there.
If I can get us there, yeah. Let me steer the ship somewhere. I don't know why. I just feel like I'm loose because I'm worried that my Wi-Fi is going to drop.
Hey, keep it loose.
Keep it loose. All right. Well, we're going to talk Boston. Is this road too easy? I mean, we're still waiting right now for this game to go final. Win. Possibly happen. We're also obviously going to break down our favorite series, Wolves and Nuggets. The tables have turned, as Joey put it in the group chat. And then we're going to debate why nobody seems to care about the Thunder and Mavs. It seems weird. At least to us, it's not that big of a deal.
In our circle
of people. And then Joey's got some fun trivia for us at the end of the show. So I'm very excited about that. All right, boys, let's hop into it. Boston, the road. Joey, what do you think about this, man? You posed this to us. Go ahead.
I think our resident Boston fan should have to answer the question first. So the premise is, the road for Boston has been filled with teams that we all would consider not real contenders from the onset of the playoffs. Has the road for Boston been too easy? And when they finally face a matchup that might be against the legitimate contender from one of Titus's many categories of, actual contender, or however you phrase them over the years, are they going to be in for a rude awakening?
I also want to preface the both teams have lost their best player.
Yeah.
So even if they were already underdogs, they became underdogs.
Underdogs. Frankly, 100% correct. One, as the resident Boston fan.
Self-admitted now. Thank you.
Self-admitted as resident Boston fan.
Oh.
Hey, you know what?
Sick. You're sick.
This is how I know I'm actually a Boston fan, is I'm annoyed with the team. I can't just casually watch. I'm just like, God damn it, why are they not beating these teams by so much more? They should be better than this. But that's one. I've been nervous as a fan because I'm going, they're not going to be ready once they get to the finals. They're not going to face an actual challenge until the finals. I mean, barring, let's see what happens with the Knicks series. I guess that might be the thing that might be the most, if they get the Knicks, that might be the most trouble for them. But even still, if Porzingis is back, I don't see the Knicks having enough juice left. But who knows? But they're not going to face a real team until they get the Nuggets, Minnesota, or OKC, I think, in the finals. And then at that point, those teams are all going to be tested and ready to go. And yeah, maybe they're a little burnt out, a little tired, but I doubt it. And then I just don't see, like, Boston is not playing crisp at all. Tatum looks like garbage, even though he's having some decent, stat lines. He just looks, his jump shot is not great right now. And he just keeps doing step back, fade back, or fade away jumper.
He, just go off your Tatum point. He's shot under 50% in every game this series.
Yeah, he does not. He's like shaking his head after these. He's like missing 3-4 jumpers in a row, and then just like, I don't know what to do. All right, dude. Well, maybe just stop taking a step back, contested step back jumpers, because that's not going to work against Denver. That's not going to happen. Ask Anthony Edwards how that's going.
Ouch.
Sorry,
Too soon.
Too soon. Yeah.
And going back to, even though, like, I know he shoots 47% normally, but in these playoffs he's been shooting 41% overall.
Yeah.
So yeah, to your point,
he's just been,
his numbers are there, but his percentage stats are, 26% from three. Typically he's like 40, 37. It's been a weird road for him, and he's up against bad teams. Not bad,
but not great teams. And like, to Joey's point, like, all right, man, if every game was a blowout, 30 points, 20 points, I would still have the same question, but I'd be like, okay, hey, what else do you want them to do? Win by 50? Like, they're just beating the teams in front of them. But the fact that they're always dropping game 2 for some reason, and then just kind of always having these moments where they're letting a team hang around a little longer than they should, when they should just be putting them away, it just doesn't make sense to me. And I just don't feel like they're going to be ready to go when the time comes to really, to nut crunching time. Are you guys really locked into the Boston series?
Well, in the sense of following it, and I'll catch the game, and then I'll see them blow out a little bit, but then turn it off and then realize, that Cleveland actually came back.
Like,
then they still lost. Okay, but I don't care. I don't know. I just
I like it.
No, but we're actually talking about them more than I thought we would. It's mostly just because you're the resident Boston fan. So
yeah. Otherwise, I actually don't think we would be talking about them at all. Like,
even next round, I don't know if we want to get into the Pacers or Knicks. I think it's clearly the Knicks. But the problem with the Knicks is that they're missing OG and Julius Randle, and they're missing 3 guys. There's a 3rd guy on that list.
Wild. If they were healthy, I think I'd be really, really talking myself into the Knicks. I would.
And they're missing 4 guys. Yeah.
If they were fully healthy, I'd go, I think Brunson's the best player in that series. And I think they got the defensive presence. They got the bodies to do it. Even if they had Randall back, everybody, Bogdanovich, like you said, they'd have the shooting. I think it would get real interesting. But they're not going to have them. So, again, it's not going to matter. Joey, any thoughts on the Knicks, Celtics?
No, series? No, it was just a thought I had. I think from the most part was like they're skating by on all of their bad habits because they're playing bad teams. And like you were saying with Tatum, like his efficiencies are down and it's just jump shot, and they don't look that crisp. And all the things that everybody has always feared with them is like when things get tough, they just try and shoot themselves out of a hole. And when things are tough for them, the hole usually isn't filled by Tatum being a jump shooter. But again, they're getting by because they're playing teams that don't have any real counter punch to, bad shots. But at some point that's going to happen. I think both teams, the Knicks or the Pacers could be trouble. I think the Knicks would be a harder out just because Brunson obviously would be the best player in that series. The thing that maybe is kind of worrisome with the Pacers is if they do fall into a jump shooting kind of mindset and Tatum continues with the poor efficiencies, Pacers are a pretty good rebounding team and they have good pace. So if they're missing shots and getting rebounds and pushing the pace, that benefits Indiana, right? Boston's much better in a half court defense kind of set up and, play with it from kind of a set play. But if the Pacers are kind of running down the court like that could be trouble. It's kind of the same thing that the Knicks do. They do it a little bit more, I guess, controlled because Brunson is kind of your dominant ball handler. With the Pacers, you have multiple weapons plus a point guard who's willing to pass. So it could be some trouble. I don't think Boston's going to lose to either one of those teams in reality.
Yeah. It could be a 6-game series, though.
But it's going to be the toughest one
They're
that they
going to lose
face
game
yet.
2.
Yeah,
they're going to lose game 2 for sure.
At home. And then I think that'll be their first 6-game series of the playoffs. I'm just going to say so. I also think I don't think either one of them is particularly a matchup issue for them, which is kind of weird. I think they're going to be okay defensively. And I actually think that up and down pace with the Pacers might be okay for Boston. They want to shoot the ball and they want to, they do sort of run more of sets and, set offenses, but I don't think Indiana's going to have the defensive stopping power to kind of hold them up very much at all.
The funny thing with your matchup, your point there, Titus, is that when you look at Boston on paper, they match up well against everyone. That's why it's so frustrating watching them not being able to blow out these easy wins. You guys are better than these guys on paper. What are we doing here?
What are we doing exactly? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
And weirdly, I think they kind of match up really well with all the potential finals teams too. Except for Minnesota is actually the one team I think they would have some trouble with. But I think Denver, I think it's a decent matchup for them in the sense that they got guys to throw at Jamal and Gordon. I think they're going to do let Jokic score everything and then just try to shoot him out of the gym, which kind of we'll see if we'll see if they can do the rotations. But
it's a scary game plan.
Yeah, I mean that's what they do though. I think that's what's crazy. I think that's why they're so up and down. A lot of their stuff is just move the ball, kick it out for threes, and if the threes aren't falling, they look terrible. If the jump shot's not falling, but then more times than not, somebody gets it going enough that it's fine. Whether it's Horford or Derek White or Jaylen Brown. I think it's another thing too. They have so many pieces. It's not going to be the one guy. It's not going to be Brunson, going for 40 every night like the Knicks or something like that. It's just going to be do 3 or 4 guys go for 15, 20 points. And is that enough to, all right, we shot enough and Tatum was good enough or Brown was good enough that we beat whoever. I mean, I don't think they're going to have anything to do with it or be able to stop Jokic, but
they got
Porzingis will be back. Yeah, they got some guys. They just got bodies, man. And they're just going to shoot threes, but who knows? It's weird. And I think the most frustrating thing for me is I will not have any real opinion on them until games 1 and 2 of the finals. Because I haven't seen him play anybody. I haven't seen any matchup that I would be even the least bit concerned about. So I'm like, all right, I guess they're good.
It's like the opposite of what happened with the Nuggets, because it feels like the Nuggets just kind of walked their way through the Lakers, and then game 2 happened. Yeah, and they got their nuts bunched up their scrotum, and then they came back in game 3 and just laid down the hammer. And now they're up 3-2, and now they're looking like a championship team again. And while Boston doesn't look like that team because they haven't really been battle tested, right? So
yeah, that's a good transition. Wolves Nugs,
the nuts bunched in
their scrotum. Don't forget that part.
Their scrotum.
Up their scrotum. Or what is it? A classic.
We didn't need to.
You need to repeat it.
I don't know why it just anyway.
Hey, when your heart's broken, man, you say things.
Yeah, I felt that to the
It's
core.
been hard, guys. It's been a rough week, to be honest.
All right, let's just let's get into it from that aspect. Chris, you're a fan. I mean, I felt like Stephen A. here. I made the dumbest call of my life, saying this thing was a wrap.
Everyone said it.
Everyone
said it. Bill Sim, everyone's on.
I think one of my favorite things I saw today that made me forehead punch or palm to my forehead punch my nut scrotum up. It's a fun show tonight. Punch my forehead there was somebody said in a TikTok was that people forget that in the bubble they came back from 3-1 twice. Twice. And I was like, oh yeah. I forgot about that.
I haven't re-listened to our episode last week, but I want to say the only time I feel like I got too high mighty with the Wolves was when I compared them to the 91 Bulls. And when I said, "Are they going to win this in 4 or 6?"
Yeah.
And I remember saying that, I'm like, "Oh, I didn't specify who in 6. I should have said the Wolves because it could just be the Nuggets in 6. Like it was still mathematically in play, and that's looking pretty likely right now, or not. Anyways,
I mean, yeah, we can get into, but like, let's just react from a fan's reaction. I mean, like as somebody who's tangentially invested in this series, but like,
great word.
Yeah.
Tangentially,
25 points to Gryffindor for that one.
There we go. Thank you, boys.
He's a Ravenclaw.
This is my favorite series so far of the playoffs. I'm locked in every night. Like, it was funny. I was texting you guys, like, I don't know how I'm gonna stay up for this. It was easy to stay up for it. I was completely, like, all right, let's go. What's gonna happen here?
Yeah, I appreciate your reply every 5 of my responses.
I was like, all right, I gotta at least for Chris. Hey, man, I'm still here, bud. But it was, you know what I mean? Like, I'm invested in it, but the complete 180 that happened after game 2, because like I said, basically everybody said the guys were done. And it was a matter of when, not if necessarily. And the complete 180 that happened, and it basically looks like, I mean, we'll get into final predictions here at the end, but it does kind of look like this is going to be go the Nuggets way, which is weird. But as like a fan, as a guy who was locked in to this series, Chris, how did that kind of feel? Like, take us through it. Like, game 3, obviously we're like, okay, hey, they punched back. But then like game 4, game 5.
So game 3 wasn't what happened. Game 3 is fine. Like game 3 was like, okay, I kind of expected this. I'm not too upset. I remember going out and being like, Wolves in 4, hearing that. It was really fun to hear that up here.
Yeah.
But whatever. Game 4 is one of the few times that I'm annoyed that I was a fan of the team, because what Jamal Murray was able to do at the halftime.
Yeah.
And the half of that turn, that was shocking. I could not have been more livid and more like upset. Yeah. I haven't been this emotionally invested in a team since like the early 2010 Bulls.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what this series has been reminding me of. How if you guys remember the 2011 Heat Bulls series, when the Bulls won game 1 by 20. Yeah. Derrick Rose got 28. I looked it up earlier. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, the Bulls can win this in like 5 or 6. This is great. And then they lose it in 5. Yeah. And it was just LeBron. They couldn't stop LeBron. And I looked at the comparison. The Bulls had Noah, Taj Gibson, Boozer, and Omer Asik, 4 big guys. None of them could stop LeBron. Come now with Minnesota, they got Gobert, Towns, Naz Reid, and Kyle Anderson. And whatever they've done, all these different rotations of trying to have Kyle Anderson on Jokic and then have Gobert be the help, whoever, Naz Reid, Towns, and you can't stop the guy. He's doing these like shimmies behind the back and then just doing these hooks off the top of the backboard, it looks like, and then just drops them in. We saw this was legitimately the best game that Nikola Jokic has ever played. People are, I think, around were like, I don't know if this is even his best game. It is. Statistically, game score on Basketball Reference, look it up. I looked it up. It's his best game he's ever played. It's in 0 turnovers, 40 points, 12 assists.
It was a masterpiece. It was so
stupid how good of a game he played. This doesn't happen. And the fact that people are trying to knock Gobert for this is insane. I don't even want to go into it.
The fandom's coming out now.
It was so perfect that you can't even be mad.
No.
Because then after the game, he was talking about like one reporter had a question like, so how do you feel like you've been defending Anthony Edwards?
Oh yeah,
you've been doing a really good job. And he started laughing. He's like, "What do you mean? I need help." Like he's getting asking every time. I'm like, see, you can't even be mad at him. Like it's so annoying. I can't even be mad at the guy. And
he's cooking your team and the whole time going like, yeah, I guess I'm doing okay.
And that's the thing. I also follow a lot of people on Twitter that are Minnesota based, and a lot of them are just, it's such a loser mentality up here, man. It's just like, hey, it's been fun. Like, we almost did it again. Oh, shucks.
Two Minnesota nights.
Oh yeah, it's been a good time there.
Do it again, eh? It's just like
1-2 games.
Fucking win this. Minnesota's the second best. We are watching the NBA Finals right now.
Yeah, we are.
I am so. I thought that maybe going into this, watching these two teams play is so far beyond any other series that the Knicks Pacers, 2 30-point blowouts in that fashion was just not the same.
Yeah. No.
And then obviously Boston hasn't played anyone. Thunder Mavs, we'll get into that a little bit.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about
like Jokic or Luka could have tied the game with like 10 seconds left. He missed a free throw. Jokic isn't missing that free throw. Edwards isn't missing. It just feels like the Timberwolves and the Nuggets are on another level that we're not going to see again in these playoffs. This is the series, and it needs to go 7. It has to happen. Like Jokic just had his best game. Jamal Murray had game 3. Aaron Gordon had game 4. You know, Jokic, you got to come down a little bit. Let's regress the mean a little bit here.
That was the most exasperated. You've got us thinking we can't keep getting away with this.
Right? That's what it feels like. The 3 offensive fouls in a row were just,
that was tough, man.
I felt bad because Baskets, my wife, told me I woke her up because I'm just yelling on the couch just because she went to bed. And just like you can't.
I was objective during the moment, and like I wanted to text the group chat that technical foul really worked because that was what they were talking about on the broadcast. But even me, I'm going 3 in a row. I mean,
I rewatched each one though. They kind of were.
Yeah, I mean, they were.
Maybe don't give it. Sometimes those go 50-50, but
yeah, it was just like I think that should be said too. The officiating definitely changed a bit from game 2. I don't know if the fix was in from the NBA where they're like, hey guys, we can't do this. But
yeah, if you looked at the start of games 3 and 4, the referees did touch fouls to start the game to kind of like set the tone, be like, hey guys, lay off. And it was like, man, if you just let them play, I don't know. It's
weird. Joey, your thoughts on this series, man? You've been locked in a little bit at least, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's late.
I chose to mute the group chat and go to sleep last night.
I understand.
Peace over violence.
It's understandable. No, it's weird, right? To think that the guy that's torching you is somehow not going to be the villain at the end of the series, right? Like,
yeah.
In most series where you have like a LeBron or a Giannis, like the opposing team was like, man, I can't stand this guy, right? Like Jordan was always the villain. LeBron was the villain for us. Like these guys become these people that you just loathe because of what they did to you. And, Jokic is just completely just like, yeah, I just do this. Like I just do things, right? And
he doesn't even care that he's that good.
I couldn't help but thinking like, the villain coming out of this is Jamal Murray, right?
Yeah. That
guy sucks. No, fuck Jamal Murray, man. I hate Jamal Murray. He's not even playing well. Besides game 3,
besides game 3
and Jay,
and the half court shot, the buzzer halftime shot in game 4. But like literally during game 3, all I could think was like, this guy shouldn't even be playing in this game.
Also, Aaron Gordon kind of sucks now too. I kind of turn on him. Anyways,
Aaron Gordon's kind of like a meathead, though. I feel like he's just kind of
like
kind of like a meathead, right? Like I play basketball, I dunk ball, I flex, I'm big, strong, right? Like,
Gordon,
Gordon smash. But like Jamal Murray in game 3, just like to quote the youth of today, it just had like major ick. It was just like wow. He was like hitting shots, and he was just he was just like acting so. I was like, dude, I can't stand you right now, man. Like you shouldn't even be playing in this game. Like
so he won me back. He won me back in game 3.
Yeah, of course.
I completely forgot about it.
You were never out on him. You were never.
No,
out.
I was. You know what's funny? Because it was funny because when you brought it up, you were like, he shouldn't even play this game. I was like, oh yeah, I had forgotten how like pissed off I was at him. And then he came out started
actually
balling.
That pissed off because you forgot
about
that,
it. Mad. He did finger guns. He threw shit on the court.
He threw shit on the court.
Fans get ejected from games.
But then he hits a 70-footer, and I'm like, cool, dude. I guess you're back. And he's like yelling at the dude's face, the announcer's face, and
it's weird. I don't know. I think Titus, you said it best. Like you need the LeBron JJ pod to like break down the actual like schematic changes, what happened, but all the things that we said last week about, hey, like Anthony Edwards is cooking them and like they're just locking him down on defense and it's giving, one guy complete freedom to just be full of energy to score. And wow, Rudy hasn't been played off the court yet. And he's been really good at like falling back and blocking lobs to Aaron Gordon, like all those things that just were working perfectly in games 1 and 2, just somehow like fell like they fell apart, and it's not because like the Timberwolves stopped executing or like started playing poorly, right?
Stopping that,
right? Like the Wolves aren't playing
thing.
bad. It's just Jokic has decided to be out of his mind.
Well, you know what?
And Murray's come along, and like yesterday too, right? He had 0 turnovers, right? Jokic.
Yeah, 0.
Yes.
He literally
0.
had a flawless game.
0.
Like you can't stop it.
You know what the main difference though has been is that Aaron Gordon's bringing the ball up the court almost every single time. And the Timberwolves have been trying to put Towns on him. He's not going to pick him up. They put McDaniels and Ant on him a little bit, but then Jokic just sets a pick. Their only thing is they got to get the ball past half court. And once they can get into their offense. And they found a way to do that with Aaron Gordon. And the thing the Timberwolves need to figure out is trying to double Aaron Gordon without giving up too much on the back end.
Just apply more pressure. Right? Couldn't they just have Jokic bring the ball up?
Jokic has been bringing the ball up a lot too.
Well, there's both of those. It's those. Yeah. The point is, it's not KCP. Not Murray. It's not Murray bringing the ball up anymore because they just. I mean, Murray's getting played out of this game. To be honest.
He kind of is. Yeah,
he can't get anything going.
He just needs he's there almost as like a release valve, and if he just needs to make 1 or 2 plays a quarter. Enough to keep the defense honest on him, and I think that's kind of the 2 things I noticed. I think Zach Lowe pointed him out a lot too. I was listening to him because, like I said, I've been waiting for the LeBron JJ pod to break this down. But they said the thing about Gordon bringing it up and initiating the offense through him, and it just changes the matchups. And then they said that basically what they're doing on defense is it's the double on Ant, the blitz to make Gobert, and I forget who the other guy was that they were saying a playmaker, and they're basically like, we don't care if if Gobert Nikhil and I said like if they beat us on threes or on playmaking, that's fine, but we're just not gonna let Ant do it. And I think that's been the big deal. Like Ant's been getting his points and stuff, but everything he's working for everything. And
dude, that defense on him, game 5, people are like, this is Jordan defense. And I don't know if you guys are gonna like this point or not, but Jordan couldn't get this defense in the 90s. This was illegal defense.
Yeah.
Fuck the 90s, man. We couldn't do this 30 years ago. Now you got Brown and because the Timberwolves, like, remember when I was previewing the series, I'm like, nobody can really guard anybody on the Nuggets to guard Ant one-on-one. They can't. They're just doubling him. They have 2 guys. They have Naz Reid and Gobert in the paint. Spread the floor, guys. I hope they can figure it out a little bit, and Ant's got to get the ball of his hands like a step sooner.
Yeah,
especially when you get like that.
And I think this is what you're seeing. Like, I think I brought up in the group chat about it being a good thing for Ant. I think one, he's going to see what it takes to win a series. You know what I mean? Like against this caliber team, like win a title. But I think that's the thing. Like they're going, all right, hey, anyone else can beat us. We don't trust it. And I think now you're kind of seeing like Gobert maybe not get played off the court, but the fact that he really can't guard Jokic one-on-one, which nobody can, but
nobody can, right?
The fact that he's not helping you there, and the fact that they are just leaving him on offense, it's becoming the issue of like, all right, now we don't have the spacing and the shooting for Ant to just create. Where on Denver's side, if you try to double Jokic, he picks you apart. If you try to, double Murray, same thing. It just there's too much ball movement there, too much shooting. Versus the Wolves are kind of becoming too much nut punching.
And the thing with Jokic is like he just kind of slows the game down, right? And he kind of like lets everyone see the court. And Towns, if he's not guarding Jokic, odds are he's going to make a mistake on the perimeter. He's going to leave a guy a little too open, and Jokic is going to see that and just throw it to the guy. It's like, I don't know. I don't even remember that happened last game. But it's just a lot of these things with Towns is really
how you feeling about Towns? He hasn't looked
most skilled,
right?
Big man, and like he is.
Yeah,
and like the announcers were kind of like knocking us like the self-proclaimed best 3-point shooter. He fucking is, guys. Just look at the stats. He can self-proclaim all he wants because he really is the best 3-point shooter. He's been proving it in this series. He's hitting shots, but he does these bump fouls. Like he forgets how big he is. Like at least twice a game.
It's a little zesty.
He's very zesty because the thing is,
too zesty.
He does the same things as Jokic does. Just Jokic does it without moving his arm or moving his body. Like Towns is very flamboyant. That's the word, right? He's just very like he just throws it. He's out there, man, and he's never gonna change. You just got to live with this. The only thing that he needs to fix, I think that he could fix, is these drives to the lane, because that's the third offensive foul was on him because AG knew like 2 seconds before it was going to happen that he was just going to try to bull rush him in the paint. And you can't, Towns, you just can't do that. It's closed. The lane's closed, buddy. Like, look outside a little bit, and for a pass. The only time he really gets assists is when he's throwing it to Gobert for a dunk. Like, if he can just throw it to somebody for a 3 for one, that would be kind of
he's head down.
Nice.
When he makes up his mind, his mind's made up.
Yeah,
we're seeing
it's tough. But one of the other reasons I hope the Timberwolves win this series, because I don't want to hear trade Towns this offseason talks again. Like I've been hearing all the time. Just
we'll
keep
have to
the
get
team.
into that, but like, what's going to happen?
The
they should keep the team, because this team is,
maybe make some changes on the perimeter depending on salaries. With
market in for Towns straight up.
Ooh.
Who says no?
That's interesting. The Utah Jazz say no.
Well, yeah, but
that would be
if straight up. But I mean,
Laurie.
I'm still hesitant on that only over
because he gives up a lot of it gives up some boards. At least Cat can rip down on the glass a little bit better than Laurie can. But,
all right, I did have something, and then we'll kind of close it out here for the Nuggets Wolves talk. But I saw something where they were trying to make these super teams. It was a meme. They're trying to make super teams out of the series matchups. So each series matchup that's going on right now, they made a super team, and they made a super team for Nugs Wolves. And I thought it was interesting, and I wanted to get you guys' pick or thoughts. So it was obviously Ant and Jamal in the backcourt, Jokic and Gobert up front, and then the fifth guy was Cat. And I was wondering, I was asking you specifically, Chris, would you rather have Anthony or Aaron Gordon or Cat if you were making that team?
Cat.
Really?
Yeah, Aaron Gordon, he's playing some of the best ball I think I've seen him play. Like, he doesn't normally he's a very high energy guy, and I think there's a lot of times where he's not as skillful as Cat, and he's in the perfect, being the third or fourth option kind of scenario.
Maybe I was asking like the wrong way. Like, would that team be better
with Aaron Gordon?
Or
I still want to say Cat. Because I liked seeing the Timberwolves have been playing Naz Reid at the 3 a lot with Cat at the 4, Gobert at the 5. And it's kind of been working. I haven't looked at the plus minus, but they don't get played off the court with that lineup.
Yeah.
And I think Towns at least can do enough on the perimeter, if we're talking this hypothetical.
Yeah.
To not be played off the court. He's so much better than Aaron Gordon. I think but I can see why you would want Aaron Gordon.
I was just kind of curious about that.
Yeah, no.
Joey, any thought there?
I feel like Aaron Gordon is going to be one of those guys who in like 10 years we're talking about how Jokic made his teammates better and he played with some bums. Like, at the end of the day, you're going to look back and be like, not bums, but like, it's kind of like the LeBron Cavs thing, right? Like, hey, some of these guys.
Ilgauskas has talked about like he was
right. I was about to say like Ilgauskas is like that guy's nothing without LeBron, right? And is Aaron Gordon like when he was in Orlando? I mean, he was good, but but so was Vooch, right? And that hasn't worked out, as we all know. So like, I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Let's go back to the Bulls somehow.
Always got to be. I think he's going to be remembered.
I feel like I kind of get what Chris is saying, though. Like, Cat offers you more on a consistent basis than Aaron Gordon does, I think.
Okay. I think maybe I disagree a little bit there. I think Cat's a better player, but Aaron Gordon's a more versatile and a more functional player.
Because Jokic is there.
No, I think, in this situation of where like you're going to have this super team where you're going to have Ant, Jamal, Jokic and Gobert. I'm like, I'd rather have Gordon on that team versus Cat. That was my thought. I thought he would be a little more functional and help them there. Not arguing against whether or not like straight up one player, start a franchise type thing. Yeah, you take Cat, but
screw it. I want Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he's been. That's the thing. He hasn't really been playing
great.
Much. He hasn't been good either.
Usually,
he's been coming out for Brown in the closing.
Christian Brown's been
balling,
white dude that just dunks the ball. Doesn't want to shoot threes very well since like Brent Berry.
Skywalker over there, man. He's great, man. I don't know what he's
nuts.
That dude has got the whatever the intangible stuff is for a player.
He's the scrappy white dude. TJ McConnell.
But no,
Matthew
they didn't.
Dellavedova.
See, and I think that's a little underrating him. That dude's just good, man. Like he's kind of, I mean, he's not locking up Ant, but he's not afraid of the challenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think he's kind of like got a little bit of that Ant to him. You know what I mean? I don't know. He's got a little nasty in him. I like it. All right. Another topic we got tonight, and I think that Chris kind of touched on it, but Joey brought up the fact that nobody seems to care about the Thunder Mavs. I've been telling you guys that's my off night. I'm staying up for the Wolves Nugs games, but Thunder Mavs is like, all right, well, halftime we're gonna go to bed here. I think part of the reason this doesn't feel important is because, like what Chris said, I think we're watching the NBA Finals right now. But Joey, what do you think, man? Why hasn't that series clicked for you? Like you pointed out, there's two, top 5 MVP players in it, in Shea and Luka.
Top 3 MVP.
Top 3,
finals,
yeah.
Right?
Finals, so yeah.
Number
Finals,
2 and 3. Yeah, I guess I was just kind of thinking everything you listen to and read, it's all really centered around the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. I think Chris is spot on. And I feel like, too, if the Nuggets and Timberwolves series had kind of gone 1-1 or back and forth, or the first 2 games were super close and the Nuggets lost on heartbreaker game winner shots, but it was such a dominant thing that it was whoa, this team that was kind of for the past 2 decades floating around in oblivion and barely sniffing anything, and as Chris mentioned, had never won a road playoff series. They just came in here and obliterated the defending champs, and that's getting all the press, but the Thunder Mavs it's been pretty good. It's kind of it should be the storyline that is the perfect complement to the young team giving the defending champs a bunch of trouble. You've got the young team with a superstar in Shea, who has been around for 6 seasons, which still weirds me out that he's been around for 6 seasons. This isn't even his first playoffs, which is also weird. But all right, you just kind of forget that he's been around. He hasn't been.
He's been hurt for the last 3 years.
Yeah,
before this, so that's you kind of forget about him after a while.
You got this. You've got Chet, who without Wemby is
rookie of the year,
who's a really solid player. They've got all these role guys. They got Josh Giddey. They've got that. There's another storyline. He's been terrible, but then you have it all coming against Luka, who has been unable to crack greatness in the playoffs outside of individual greatness and scoring a bunch of points. He hasn't been able to lead the team to the finals yet, and all the talk was they got Kyrie last year, then this year the trade deadline they had PJ Washington, and what the heck's the other guy's name, Daniel Gafford, and Derek Jones Jr. came in the offseason. They put together a team actually, and there were really good flash to greatness, and it just seems they're almost too evenly matched, where on paper they actually size up really good, and in the games they've sized up really good. It's Shea and Luka are going to get theirs obviously in game 4. Luka and Kyrie had pretty what do they have 20 something points together, but this is the matchup that is going to define how hard the Nuggets are going to have to work to
stuck that in
make it to the finals, right? If it's Oklahoma City, based on what I talked about 2 weeks ago or last week, whenever it's not you, it's me. I feel they're going to have to work a little harder to get through Oklahoma City. I feel I think they're going to win handily, but there's going to be a little bit more. It's almost going to be kind of like Timberwolves-esque, right? They're young. They're going to come out swinging and they're playing house money. This should be being talked about more as what is this? And maybe it starts to happen now because the Nuggets have kind of started to get a stranglehold on their series, and there's actually some defining moments there. But it just seems weird to me that the Luka going to be able to finally break through, or is the team that everybody says is way too young to do this going to break through? And it just doesn't seem to be getting the press as it should.
Chris?
So here's the thing. The reason why I don't think this game's getting much is because Game 4 was awful. The Thunder shot 38% from the field and won the game. Luka went 6 of 20. When the Thunder had Lou Dort go 4 of 14 and Jalen Williams, their second best player, go 5 of 19, and they still won the game with Shea just dropping 14 mid-range jumpers, right? With getting on his way to 34 points.
Baby DeMar.
I knew that was coming.
Kyrie, right. Kyrie's been a show of himself. 20 points in game 1, 9, 22, 9. It's just like I'm watching these two teams and they're fine. But then I watch Timberwolves Nuggets, and there's just these big guys everywhere. Like Timberwolves just keep throwing bigs after bigs after bigs at Jokic, and Jokic keeps fighting them off, and it's just it's in such a better way than what I'm trying to like. The Thunder, you're watching Giddey getting played off the court, and then there's questions like, oh, why is he still starting? Giddey's not starting tonight. Isaiah Joe's in the lineup, no game talk, but.
No game talk.
I still think the Thunder especially this series to me has shown that if they had made a trade for like Clint Capella or did something actually to try to win this year, I think I would want to pay attention to more. But you can tell they kind of still kept their assets in a place to win later, while the Mavericks really kind of built the team like this is the team that's going to try to win. So I really hope the Mavericks kind of pull this out because I
hope they don't.
Yeah, I don't like that. This might be jumping ahead here, but is the Luka turn coming? Because I'm starting to hear a lot of negative chatter about Luka.
He's not fun to watch because his face. I think it was not. Even when he makes the shot, when he makes the shot, he looks upset. Yeah, right. And it's just kind of like, okay, this is, and he has the ball like what 60% of the time. It's like probably like 45 or something, but it feels like it's nonstop, right?
Like that little blurb came out that when he's not in the game or whatever, that
relaxes.
Everybody relaxes, like, oh, sweet, we're gonna touch the ball, and with all the complaining and stuff. And like kind of what Chris Joey was saying there, like if he doesn't, obviously this is supposed to be him getting them across the line, and like if he doesn't do it this year, does it start to become hey, can he even do it? Is he the guy that can do it? And I just think this really comes down to, or why this series. It kind of is like Indy, New York to me. Yeah. Instead of like, it's going to be a great series, but either one of those teams is just going to get rolled by whoever comes out of the other series. And well, not in the Boston case, but like, it's Boston. I feel like Chris hit it on the head. I think Wolves Nugs is going to be the most intense series we see all playoffs. I will hold out hope for Boston and Denver to be that good, but
I'll still watch Boston. I'm still gonna watch that. I think a chance.
Boston, whoever they play.
Yeah.
I think I would be surprised if the Thunder, let's say, because right now the Thunder are up. If the Thunder were to get through and the Nuggets get through, I would be surprised if the Thunder gave them much of a series. You know what I mean? They might have some close games, but ultimately I think it would be a 5-6 game series at most with the Nuggets.
I would always say a sweep. I don't know. The Thunder, they're so small, man. Like the reason why they got some O boards in the last game, but
they played them well in the regular season, though.
Yeah.
I mean, the regular season things are different, but I mean,
so did Phoenix.
That's true.
Ask Phoenix how that worked.
Ask Phoenix how that worked. That's how I should have said.
Fair.
I just think I think the farther the Thunder go, they're going to hit the too young at some point. I know it doesn't feel like it or whatever, but teams that young, they just don't win. And at some point, there's going to be this thing of like, okay, our big brother is now going to show us how to play basketball. And I think the Wolves, to some extent, are getting a little bit of that, not as much. I wouldn't say that like big brother. I just think they're seeing like a better team play to the best that they can.
Timberwolves just don't have the offense, man. It's been rough.
Yeah, I guess like to put the bow on that one. It was more of like not more, but it just seems like we're missing out on like the story of these two teams, and like all the talk was Oklahoma City is too young. And that was, they're probably 2 years away. And then they managed to get the number 1 seed, and they managed to sweep the first round. And then they managed to go out and win game 1 against the Mavs. And then they looked pretty bad in the next 2. And they looked kind of shitty in game 4, but they managed to win that game. And, and then
if
it
you're
was
Boston, that's a good sign.
yeah. And then it was like, hey, and now, Luka was hurt, but then he wasn't hurt. But then him and Kyrie are like, averaging 20 points per game combined less than they were in round 1. It's just like, there's this feeling of like, why aren't we talking about this?
Yeah.
Why aren't we talking about the fact that like, hey, Luka has been by himself, and it's always been, well, Luka hasn't had a good team to be around him, and now they have one, and they're still kind of mid. And like, hey, maybe this team that's young actually has a fighting chance to do something because they've shown it so far. Like, I don't know. It just seems weird, and I don't know why. And maybe it's because the markets are different. And we would really be talking about Denver, Minnesota as much as we were if Denver wasn't defending champions. Probably not. Right, like the series might be really good still, but it may not have the same kind of like wow factor. But I don't know. I'm interested in this one. I think it's fun. I think it's kind of like, I don't know. It's just different. Maybe it's because there's so much about the other ones that like I'm finding myself interested in the one that people don't care about.
I think that's what it is.
You know what's going to happen is if the Dallas lose this series, it's going to come out Luka had it's like he needs a surgery.
Yeah,
on something kind of like what happens when LeBron loses some series.
Broken patella.
Yeah.
I think I think the Luka turn is coming. I think people are going to start criticizing him next year a little more than they would, especially if he loses.
What's the lead time on that? Because I was thinking about this with Anthony Edwards, where everyone's liking him right now, right?
Yeah.
And he's saying all the right things. The one bad thing he kind of said was that he's not like Jordan because he can shoot a 3. And people were like, "Oh, Jordan couldn't shoot a 3? Oh, what?" And it's like, guys, he went like 2 for 6 in the final. Like he didn't really shoot 3. But anyways. But I think Edwards has like a 2-year lead time until people start turning on him. It's kind of like rotation, right? Like Luka 2 years ago was kind of like,
oh my God, who is this guy? Yeah,
what's going on here? And now it's like, okay, Luka, like, stop complaining.
So you got to win, buddy.
Right.
I think he's got next year, and if he doesn't like break through next year, obviously Timberwolves has a bunch of like contract stuff coming up and stuff like that. But then you're right. It'll be the season after if something happens, and then everybody starts going, I don't know about this guy. Is he really the face of the league? Losing a step on that dunk.
Shea too. Yeah. I'll be interested in what happens with Shea.
Yeah, Shea. He's gonna. I think the mid-range stuff is gonna come to bite him in the ass at some point. But
I talked to DeMar DeRozan about that.
Well, I mean, DeMar's not winning titles.
So how about DeMar? Here, DeMar mentioned he's open to going to the Lakers. You'll see where the chips fall this offseason.
He should be.
Trade him, blow it up.
He can't trade him. He's a free agent, Titus.
Trade everybody.
No, they fucked it up. They missed the window. That's the problem.
That's the problem. I know. They missed the problem. We're not going to do this. All right, give us some trivia, Joey, and then we can wrap it up.
So
a good segue.
That's a good segue. Again, Chris, sorry to say this, but I was just thinking teams that have overcome 2-0 deficits in the playoffs. Yeah. Went back, pulled the last 10 teams.
Okay.
To overcome a 0-2 deficit. Do you think you guys can name them in order?
Ooh, in order.
Not.
Last 10 teams. I will tell you the
years.
Most recent team is last year, and the oldest team, the last 10 teams, is 2016. So it's a pretty small spread here.
Oh,
it's not just finals. It could be first round, semifinals, conference.
The only
finals,
one I remember is the 06 Dallas Miami one. That's the only one I can.
Well, I think you're missing a very obvious one here. The oldest one from 2016. I think you guys should be able to get pretty quickly here.
Oh, that's the Cavs, right?
Yeah. Cavs obviously overcame the Warriors in the finals down 0-2.
Yeah, well, they were eventually down 0-3.
Yes.
Were they down 0-3 or 1-3, right?
No, they were 0-3.
They were down 0-3.
Oh, yeah.
They were the first team to ever do it, man, against a 73-win team. I want to point that out. All right. I'll take every chance I can.
Yeah. All right. 2023. So you guys got one. We'll go this one. 2017 was the next one.
Okay.
It featured
Give us a conference.
Eastern Conference. First round.
This was 2016?
2017. First round.
The Bucks, right?
Eastern Conference. Incorrect.
No,
Same.
Bucks did it at some point.
Are the Heat involved?
They are not, but you're getting warmer. A player in this series played for both of these teams in their history.
Philly.
In their career. Incorrect. This one's going to be painful that you guys don't remember this one.
I can't. I'm so bad at this.
I'm bad with series.
It's fine. It's Celtics Bulls.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say the Bulls. And,
the Celtics overcame an 0-2 deficit against the Bulls. This is
was that the Rondo Bulls?
This is the Rondo one. Yeah, that was.
He got hurt during that series.
Yes, that was the hint.
Otherwise, they would have won.
Player played for both teams at some point in his career, right?
Okay.
That was a tough time in the.
That was only 2017. That felt like longer than that.
Feels like it was forever ago.
Well, it's 7 years ago.
Yeah.
2018 happened again.
This happens all the time. Then.
Yeah, it was surprising.
Well,
that's kind of why
it's the down 2-0 at home. I think is
at
the
home
one that I've been seeing.
Yeah.
That's 5 times. I think it's only happened 5 times in history.
Mm-hmm.
2018 Eastern again.
2018 Eastern Conference. This is in the Eastern Finals.
This has got to be the Bucks.
No.
This is a Celtics Heat.
Celtics Cavs. Look close, Chris. Cavs overcame Celtics. Up 2.
Oh, LeBron. Oh my God. My head's only going like 3 years back. It should be going 6
LeBron did it twice.
LeBron did it twice. That is correct.
Yeah, I'm not going back far enough. I keep thinking like 2018.
We're getting a little more recent here, right? So next year we're 2019 now. Okay, so we're 1 year at a time here. Eastern Conference.
Raptors Pacers.
Bucks.
Raptors Bucks. You guys,
Bucks.
I'll give it to you. We'll put it together.
Yeah.
East Finals. Raptors overcame an 0-2 deficit against the Bucks.
Oh, it was the other way. I knew it either happened to the Bucks or the Bucks did it.
Yeah, the Raptors won it that year.
Yeah, that was the year the Raptors won it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right. Now we've got 4 from 2021.
Wow.
We've got 4 series.
2020. Okay.
2020 was skipped. There was none of this in that year. 2021, we've got 4 of them.
How many in the East? How many in the West?
2 in the East, 2 in the West.
Which rounds?
And the teams that did it twice. So I'm counting them twice.
Wait, is it
in the same playoff series?
The Bucks did it to Phoenix, right?
The Bucks did it to Phoenix in the finals. Yes.
Wow. So then they did it to Brooklyn.
Yes, they did it to the Nets. The big toe game.
Nice. Big toe game. All right, so the Western Conference. It's not.
Is it Nuggets Blazers?
It's not Nuggets.
Oh, why? Maybe we're going too far back now.
Think about
Clippers.
It is the Clippers. I was about to say, think about a team that this was their season, right?
They did it back to back, right? It was they did it to the Mavs, and then they did it to somebody else, or
they did it to the Mavs, and they did it to the Jazz, which was the season that broke up.
Rudy the Gobert. Okay, yeah.
Yep. You guys got it. 2021 was the year. We had to go back.
Well, that's when we started covering like the pod. I think
only 3 years. All right, now we're into 2022.
All right, so who's this? This is the Golden State year.
It's Golden State year.
It's not. Golden State did this.
It's in the Western Conference, but they did not do it to Boston. No.
The Warriors did this?
No. It's Western Conference, but it's not the Warriors.
Is it?
It's a very meaningful, not meaningful series, but a very memorable series for both teams. The team that won.
Clips Lakers?
No.
Did they even play each other?
The team that won.
Teams.
The team that won went into the next series thinking they had everything figured out. The team that lost pretty much changed the direction of their franchise immediately following.
So Suns.
Oh,
there you go.
And then one.
Portland.
No. Clippers?
No. Who's the team that absolutely obliterated them in the Game 7 embarrassment?
Oh, Dallas.
Oh, the Mavericks.
Yes.
That's right.
Mavs overcame the Suns in a 2-0.
Damn.
I don't remember them being down 2 games that series.
I like
at
that
all.
hit, Joey, with they lost this series and then they blew it up. It was
Changed the direction of their franchise.
changed the
Which it did.
direction of their franchise, which was good. Yeah,
It
that's a
did.
good way to put it.
And then the last team on the list is from last year, Western Conference first round. It was a big series. It was big for both teams.
This is Memphis, right?
Nope.
No.
Memphis last year. No, big for both teams.
Last year Memphis was it?
One team.
Kings Warriors.
Nice job, Chris. Warriors
yeah.
overcame
7.
a 2-0 deficit to the Kings, which again I
They were
forgot that the
up
Kings
2
were up
games.
2-0 and lost that in 7. So the history is rich with teams that have done this, and more times than not, but a lot of times they tend to go on and do pretty significant things. So,
I would have appreciated this trivia last week.
well, I didn't think
to settle my mind a little bit.
This would have been the biggest jinx trivia of all time if we did this last week.
Well,
The
last week
anti-jinx,
we
though.
would have done the one thing we have to look this up for next week. Maybe next week trivia homework. We got to do the 2 games at home. Like who has lost 2
5
games
teams.
at
Simmons
home?
mentioned that in his pod.
Because
The
I think
one
that,
was like in 77, I think.
yeah, that's I think is the biggest deal. I think it's one thing when you go down 2 games and then you're coming
On the
back
road.
home like the Warriors, and then like, all right, hey, yeah, you won in Sacramento, but now it's 2-2, and then now they're real tight at home and it doesn't go their way. But
Did the Bucks lose? Were the Bucks not the home team when they won the finals?
no, Phoenix was right because it was the 2 in Phoenix, and then they.
Was it the 2 in Phoenix?
I think it was, and then I think they came back. Yeah, because Phoenix had like the 65 win team that year,
Oh, that's right.
and it was just looking like, all right, Chris Paul's going to get his title, and that was it. Man, that was a good series.
I think Giannis dropped 40 plus. He had a 50-point game to
Yeah,
close it out.
to
But he had
close it
40
out.
plus the last 4 games, I think.
Bucks at Suns.
He was just a monster.
And then hasn't gotten out of the first round since.
He's been hurt the last 2 years.
Yeah.
That's
right?
wild.
So sad. Like I can't.
Well, it's wild because they were talking about if the Nuggets win this series, they'll be the first team to get out of the second round in the last 6 years or something
As a defending champ.
Yeah. As the champ.
as a champ.
Shit, that's right.
Let's keep the streak alive tomorrow night, guys.
There you go.
7:30. So
All right.
no excuse to.
7:30. I'll stay out.
Are you going to the game?
I'll be there.
Ooh,
Wow, I don't know if see the excitement there, Chris.
I'll be there. I'm
he's
excited.
nervous.
He's nervous.
Nervous as
Yeah, he's
fuck.
nervous. He's
Are you
nervous.
going by yourself?
No. Just me and Caitlin.
Nice.
We're gonna leave. Isabella came to game 1 right against Phoenix, but
Yep.
that was a
Yeah.
day game. This is
Good seats.
7:30 start.
Got-
Have you
got good
mentally
seats.
prepared?
We're
Caitlin?
second. We're not the. I've never sat here. It's behind the backboard, but second level,
Okay.
like
Should
row
be
5,
decent.
and not bad. End row, and never sat there before, so it should be pretty all right.
Can't wait.
Yeah, you have to give us the lowdown. Hopefully,
I want game 7, man. I really like,
I
even
never
as
hope so.
not just a fan, like I was gonna say if Minnesota had won game 5, would I want game 7? No, I'd want them to end in 6, but I still
Yeah.
want game 7 just because game 7's, man. Like game 7 basketball
good.
is kind of the best, and this series
This series is
be-
begging for a game 7, and man, I would be on
Like,
pins and needles. man.
Pacers Knicks. If that goes 7, I don't even know if I'm that excited just because there's been so many. I'll watch it,
Yeah.
but there's so many blowouts in that series. A lot of runs. Pacers don't play defense. They
All
get
right,
a lot of open ones, though.
let's get the picks, the official picks. Chris,
Yeah.
who are you? Nugs
Oh,
at 7?
I'm still
or-
taking the Wolves in 7.
Wolves
Dude,
in 7?
watching this Wolves team, they look like the better team to me every time. I'm texting you guys like, I think they got it. Gordon's got 2 fouls. He's
They
sitting
can
early.
fight back. I think they can fight back on this one.
I mean, hell, at the beginning of the third quarter, I sent like a message like, "Let's go! They
Yeah.
got this," and then it is all
We'll
I
bad.
will
save
say
that
they look
forever.
like the best matchup for the Nuggets. I don't know if they look like the better team.
There's just their defense sometimes looks. Let's stop getting into. Anyways,
Yeah.
I think Wolves in 7 because
7.
I'm still on that, and then Knicks.
You got
I think the Knicks are just gonna close it out in Indy. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think it should be over. Just
The Celtics is over.
bully them down.
Celtics
Is over. It
And then OKC, did they close it tonight?
Well, it's 2-2.
No, they can't.
Oh,
2-2.
2-2. Oh, I thought it was.
So I think Dallas is going to win this.
No one's paying attention.
Dallas and 6 for me. Dallas and 6. What do you guys got? This might be the biggest difference one.
I say OKC in 6.
I say OKC in 7. It'll be a home game 7, right? So this is in OKC.
This is in OKC.
I think it's going to go. They'll win in OKC or lose in. I think they can go either way these next 2 games, and then I think the home game gets it.
I say OKC in 6. I say Denver doesn't have to go back to Denver, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think so too. But...
And I do think New York finishes it in Indiana. I think Indiana had their run of their 2 wins at home, and I think they're going to run out of steam.
Well, at least you're consistent with your game 6. Okay.
Yeah.
With your hatred.
Sorry, Chris.
Yeah, sorry, Chris, man. I hope it goes good for you.
I do too.
I think I
genuinely hope it goes.
I would love to be wrong here. I would
be wrong. I
went to the last game of the season. I think the last 3 years. This will be my 3rd year in a row. Because I went when they lost to the Grizzlies. That was
maybe you should stop.
I know, right? Should I just get
I don't have those game 6s, man.
It's fun though. These playoff. It's such a
I can imagine
atmosphere. Man.
Yeah, it sounds like a great time.
It wasn't that bad. It was like
our team is
$100.
Wish we knew about that.
Crazy. Like you usually think it's like $300, $400. The tickets were crazy expensive.
$100? That's
not bad. Yeah.
I fucking hate Chicago. God damn it.
Right. Dude, come. Yeah, here it is up here.
I'd be a fan up there. Nobody cares. They're not even on the TV up there. You say you couldn't find it?
Yeah, you were at the bars and you couldn't even find the game on the TV.
Oh, yeah. They had Bruins Panthers on one of the, and they wouldn't change it. I'm like, come on.
It's the Stanley Cup Finals, eh?
No, it's just round 2.
Stanley Cup round 2.
It's whatever, man.
It's a home team, man. You think they'd be putting it on?
Yeah, no, it's sad.
Wow. All right.
Shout out Stillwater.
Chris will be doing the only parade in all of Minneapolis when they win. He'll be the solo man driving down in the minivan.
I actually was thinking about the parade after they were up 2-0. Like, would I go to the parade?
Yes, you would.
I don't know if I would.
Yeah,
no, because what happened with the Chiefs parade?
Let's fucking go.
And
the Chiefs parade.
Someone got shot.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Yeah,
I don't know, and especially Minneapolis downtown's not. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't.
We'll see.
Don't,
talk to me next week.
Let's see.
Let's fucking
after
go.
Sunday. Maybe after Sunday, if Minnesota wins, we got a pod. We got to do a pod. We got.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys. Yeah.
If they win the
game
series,
7,
we're gonna accept this because all right, if we're gonna win, it's kind of like me accepting go to a Chicago game if they're playing Boston. Yeah. So we'll do a pod if Minnesota wins in game 7.
For
sure.
Right.
Yeah. If they win in game 6, we'll hop on the mics. We'll do a game 7.
Game
preview.
6.
No, game 7. We'll do the pod.
He wants to do a post game.
Post game 7.
Oh, post game 7. Oh,
7,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, game 6. Sure. No, not game 6. No, that's not.
I think you want to do a game 6. Like, hey, they forced 7, man.
Game 7.
Right. Game 7.
They win game 7. We're on.
They win game 7. We're on.
They win game 7. We're on. We'll see you next Wednesday, guys. Famous last words. Right. Hey, I'm trying to reverse it as much as I can. I'm trying to help.
Appreciate that. Yeah, no.
Yeah, Denver at 6, obviously. Yeah. All right. Well, that is it for us tonight. Follow us on social media at the Box of Boys. Slide in those DMs. You want to see if that alert comes for a game 7 pod. I think either way, if it goes game 7, I feel like we should do it either way. Pod.
Yeah.
And then
that's true.
Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review us on YouTube and Spotify. Very much appreciate that. So until the next time, box out.